All right, greetings all. This is Malik Jafar. Today we're going to be talking about not spreading yourself too thin. Let's get into it.
I'm the best, so do not test the top of my profession. The master of my chosen field, of that there is no question. Serious.
All right, well, first things first, let me go into explaining what that concept means to spread yourself too thin, and just a brief blurb on why you shouldn't and how it can impact you. Now, this is not, I talked about the multidimensional, the duality, multifaceted. This is not multifaceted or multitasking. When a person is multitasking, there is an equilibrium, there's a balance, there is this level of, I don't want to say understanding, but there's a level of manageability with all parts that are taking place. Excuse me. When a person is spreading themselves too thin, the first thing, it doesn't feel good. It feels stressed. When you're multitasking, you're moving, you're going, you're grooving, you're making things happen. You don't feel overly stressed. You do feel involved and you do feel busy, but not anything out of the ordinary. When you start to expand yourself in such a way, that the things that you are doing start to become stressful and to the degree that it is becoming distress, then that is when you're spreading yourself too thin. You have projects at home, you have projects at work, you have projects with your friends, with your family. Those are natural things, but when you become too involved with multiple dynamics and trying to accommodate all of these things starts to present negative emotions or negative resonance, then that is when you are spreading yourself too thin. Okay? Some people live their life in a way that they're always spreading themselves too thin, so it's hard to decipher whether or not they're doing it. And this is where high blood pressure and a number of other different health conditions can take place because someone is in a position to do that. Outside of, eating healthy and taking care of yourself and working out and giving yourself time to maintain the temple. Having those things in place and then going above and beyond the call of duty and becoming stressed, that is spreading yourself too thin. Let me be more specific or fine-tune what it is that I'm saying. Let's say that you have a project. Let's not incorporate all of these other different dynamics that I mentioned before. Let's just say that you have multiple dynamics in a project that you're needing to deal with. For example, creating a nonprofit or creating some type of program or curriculum, or you name it. There are many different dynamics that take place with that, and so would be great if you could have a person assigning different individuals to take care of these duties. But if you don't have the luxury of having multiple people and you're still trying to build a staff or infrastructure, then there is a lot of roles that you're going to end up having to take on yourself. And I've heard this many times, and I'm sure y'all have too. How does one eat an elephant? One piece at a time. So, spreading yourself to try to accomplish a lot of different dynamics in creating this infrastructure could present that stress, because it still has to get done. You may even have a deadline. There is no one else working with you on it. And so a person expands themselves and starts trying to work on all of these different areas at one time. One piece at a time. One piece at a time. Take one particular section, gobble that up, deal with that, finish it, or at least give yourself a deadline. Complete it. Give yourself an action plan. Finish what it is that you set in place. Move on to the next one. You don't have to complete the whole thing, but just make sure that it is progress, not perfection. Forward momentum. Just don't stop, and don't allow yourself to get too distressed, because if you do, what ends up happening is that when you exceed your ability to maintain self or maintain circumstances in a distressful situation, then you have distress creates it's maladaptive. It creates a negative consequence where something breaks. If you stress your muscles to get strong, great. If your muscle is in distress and you are in a position to strain your muscle, even pull it, keep going. You can tear it, pop a tendon, you name it. And then everything that you've been working on to try to take care of, you can't do it because now you're rehabilitating your leg or your muscle or whatever it is. So same concept. Allow yourself to be in a state of distress, or allow yourself to be in a place of spreading yourself too thin for too long, and something's going to break and something's going to pop. And what you wanted to accomplish, you will not be able to accomplish, because you will be rehabilitating yourself, your body, more specifically your mind, your emotions, which I was supposed to stop the video a second ago and give you some specifics, but I think that I have kind of summarized all of the parts that I need at this point. The one thing, like I said before, explaining what distress is, and then talking about why you don't spread yourself too thin, and what are the consequences of spreading yourself too thin. Well, spreading yourself too thin ultimately puts you in a position to not accomplish any of your goals once you've reached your limit. You have to maintain a healthy equilibrium, a healthy balance between all of the different objectives that you have in place. And you must give yourself realistic time frames to deal with these objectives. Otherwise, it will be counterproductive for what it is that you're trying to take care of. I am so very certainly sure that people have specifics that they would like to address in regards to their own, I'm going to say maladaptive patterns, but their own distressful dynamics, or spreading themselves out too thin. And if you do, please feel free. Hit me up in the comments, send me a text in there, and I will do my due diligence to help you out and assist best way that I know possible. So, with that being said, y'all stay safe, be blessed, and I see y'all next time. Peace. Bam.
I'm the best, so do not test the top of my profession. The master of my chosen field, of that there is no question.